Hello, welcome to the lobby, GameSpot's weekly hangout every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on GameSpot.com. I'm your host, Daniel Dwyer, joined as ever by Mr. Christopher Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Gerstmann's here as well.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hello.
Good
I'm
to
doing
see
well.
You. Did you hear the world of action sports is returning?
I mean, I never left as far as I'm concerned. I live in the world of action sports.
In, I guess,
I
California.
rode a Razor scooter here, like
you?
grinding on a rail the whole
Yeah.
time, and then threw that thing aside.
No, you didn't. You ride around the office all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have to get to these meetings somehow, brother.
Have you ever seen a man ollie in a desk chair?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This guy right here. Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 5. Kind of a little leak this morning, but it's since been confirmed by Game Informer.
Yeah.
their
It's
new
in
story.
their new issue. They confirm it as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
That's the name.
Yeah.
It is the 5th Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Right. Yeah,
So-
that chef that leaked out the
Oh,
image
yeah.
from the thing that just said Tony Hawk 5 on it, kind of off to the side.
Yeah.
They've.
Catering guy info is on point.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that guy's a celebrity chef or something. Or he is now, as far as I'm concerned.
I feel like that's going to be the, getting in with catering companies is the new listening in on stock, on, investor
Earnings calls.
Yeah.
in terms of,
Slipping into these meetings
Yeah.
and figuring stuff out, Instagramming your ass off.
We're going to talk about earnings calls later on in the show because EA just put out some stuff earlier, about 15 minutes ago. But yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, a return to the series. Robomoto are doing it, who made, they have a sort of scattershot history with the series. They were responsible for the weird...
They made Ride.
Yeah.
They made Shred.
Yeah.
And then they made Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, which you would think would be like, ah, yeah, but that thing ended up being quite a bummer.
Yeah.
Are any of those games you mentioned good?
No, not
Yeah.
I think Ride.
I think
had
there's a
potential.
difference though.
Like
Ride and Shred are
totally
are
they're
poor
just,
games.
they're trying to be a different thing. And I remember the first time I got on the Tony Hawk Ride board at E3, it actually worked surprisingly well. And I was like, okay, I guess I can see what you're going for. Like, obviously, it takes some of the steering out of it, and you're kind of doing a different thing. But as soon as I got one in our office, it was a mess. It just didn't work. And the amount of
Some ollieing there,
right,
is it?
yeah.
Sean McInnes jumping up and down on
The
it.
amount of free space it required around the board to handle the sensors and stuff was was really kind of extreme.
I didn't realize it required that much peripheral stuff because you kind of, with a Kinect or something like a Move, you imagine you need the big space to move. But this looks like you could legitimately do it on a carpet square that big.
Well, so it has sensors on the side of it. See what he did there, reaching down and kind of waving in front of the centers to say, I'm grabbing the board.
Right.
So if you have items in that radius and you're moving the board around, it sometimes detects those items as you grabbing the board and just breaks everything. So, it was. I liked it. Whoa!
Look at artifacting
Look
on
at
Kevin.
how crazy that
That
board
is
is.
not Tony Hawk's problem.
They had an idea, and I applaud them for having the idea. But boy, that thing produced a couple of really bad games.
Yeah.
Shred was like a snowboarding game or something. It was
Apparently, I actually hadn't realized that until you just said. Before we started.
But then Toys for Bob did Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. That was like a Wii launch game. So Tony Hawk. Remember that at the time at which Ride came out, Tony Hawk was kind of done.
So it had gone 1, 2, 3, 4, Underground 2, Project 8?
No, Project 8 was the 8th game.
Okay,
remember.
yes,
so
it was.
So 7 was American Wasteland, then Project 8, then...
What was the last one called? Yeah.
There was another one. Because I think they got up to 9, and then instead
Nine Hill Jam. No,
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I want to say there was a...
I had him
there's
ahead a
American
second ago and it's
Wasteland,
gone now.
There's
Internet will
Do you
tell
guys
us.
want me to just
Put it in the comments.
look this up?
No.
Right now while you're talking
fine.
about it?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so it had been well-trodden ground by the time.
Totally,
Ride
like
had come
Project
out.
8, like the nail the trick slow-mo stuff they were doing at that point was just kind of them bolting on systems that didn't need to be there. So that thing had gotten way far away from what it originally was. By the time Ride came along, you were just sure, of course, why not?
So what do you expect of this one? It seems from what little information we have that they are returning to the sort of 2, 3 era of having a
Yeah.
core bunch of skaters. I kind of like that they're not going back into like, oh, we're gonna pull back like Kareem Campbell and like
like they need to update the roster to some extent. And HD did that to a proving
grounds.
ground.
Thank you.
Yes, proving ground.
Classic.
Not bad.
No.
Yeah, Project 8, not bad games, but just, that series was so well worn at that point that, they were just on their downward slope. But yeah, like the roster stuff got, I think even in that point, it got a little strange.
Yeah.
HD had new skaters in it, that some of which are actually appearing in Tony Hawk 5.
At some point along there, you had
Tony Hawk 5. Yeah.
At some point along there, you had Skate come into the picture,
Yes.
and that was fresh. It felt distinct and different, and just had great the responsiveness, sort of the naturalistic approach, as opposed to the more over the top Tony Hawk stuff.
Yeah, Tony Hawk was a game where you were doing special grinds, where dudes were pulling out guitars and burning flags, whatever the hell was going on.
It came to the point
became
where
Jackass.
Yeah, well, it came to the point as well where if you were playing that game properly, like 2 or 3, you were spending the 2-minute run on a single run.
Exactly.
Like you were, once they put in the verts or what was it, the revert
by the
thing?
time, by the time they got to Tony Hawk 3, it was just 2 minutes of one long combo. It was awesome. So Skate was like a really good alternate approach to that, where it kind of got back to slightly more realistic skating, where, your trick lines were a little more like something that seems a little more feasible. Yeah. With goals that were kind of appropriate, and I liked the attitude of Skate, like their full motion video intros that were like a Skate video come to life, just like a real crazy stuff there.
It seemed way more in touch with, in the way that Tony Hawk 1 and 2 kind of did, it felt way more in touch with skate culture at that point.
Totally.
As well.
Yeah.
And also, I think gaming culture, like it sort of felt like this sort of more open area. We're gonna have fun with some ragdoll physics.
Right.
Like, that just sort of felt like a fresher take on the situation.
But there were a lot of goals involving you just like getting cool photos for Thrasher and Transworld. The stuff was like relatively modest compared to just like, you need to grind this and then cause an earthquake and then everything's gonna blow up, which that's fine. I think there was always room for both. I think both approaches were so different at that point that I enjoyed both of them in their own way.
Let's get into some details on what we do know about this one then. Apparently coming out to PS4 and Xbox One, with PS3 360 versions coming later in the year. It'll have power-ups and the ability to shoot projectiles for specific missions.
Which they've done before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Before you say anything,
I got people have been looking at that going like, this game's garbage. It's like, keep in mind, a lot of the Tony Hawk games are, well, garbage is a strong word, but when they fell off, they fell off.
Yeah.
They had a multiplayer mode that was just deathmatch. It was like you did kick flips to make fireballs shoot out the front of the board or the back of the board. It was like kick flips for forward, fireballs, heel flips for rear.
Shove-its for one at the side.
Yeah, totally. So like they've done that. They've had objectives where you're throwing tomatoes at people. Like that sort of stuff has existed before. To highlight it as part of your announce is maybe the wrong way to go, but that's more of a marketing rollout issue than something with the game, I think.
It's going to have co-op and competitive play, seamless online, and you can create your own skate parks, which again is nothing. Was it Thug was the first one to maybe do that?
It might have been 4, but I don't know. Like that all kind of like past 4, they all kind of run together in terms of features. Like 4 added like the spine transfer stuff that the game already kind of had, but it kind of codified that a little more succinctly, I guess. But after 3, the mechanics started mattering less and less to me. Like once you get off the board, it was like, what? No, don't do that.
In terms of the lineup, then, like we said, like Nigel Houston's in it, who, like, I remember being like the 6-7-year-old kid who was able to do kickflips.
Right.
Now he's like 20. He's like a grown-up, actual pro skateboarder.
Same deal. Like Riley Hawk is in it.
Yep, Riley Hawk, Lizzie Armanto, Chris Cole, David Gonzalez.
Chris Cole was in one skate.
And Andrew Reynolds as well.
No idea.
Andrew Reynolds was in the early Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, so it's not like we've got a completely new roster.
Was it ever the roster that appealed to you? Like, were you ever like, sweet, Bam Margera's in this one? Or
no, interestingly enough, I think like I think it worked the other way around. Whereas like the reason I'm sitting here wearing a Vans shirt is because growing up in Ireland, I played Tony Hawk's 2 and was like, skateboarding's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then I bought a skateboard and I skateboarded for like 6 years and I played every one of those games. So like I don't know if they're trying to like reconnect with that. Like that was a very time and place type thing. Like, skateboarding was huge.
And you think about, I don't really keep up with it the same way that I used to. But you think about kind of what skateboarding became in the wake of that, and the rise of the X Games and all that sort of stuff. The like very hyper competitive stuff that, like, Skate would get into here and there, but not, at the expense of like street skating. That to me is what's interesting about skateboarding. Is like, that kind of makeshift, like, we're making things happen on the street, or we're building our own half pipe and doing this, like,
I bet I could grind that into that.
Finding spots.
But much like esports is like a terrible representation of like actual competitive gaming in a spiritual way, and super soulless in a lot of its forms. Like professional skateboarding looked like it went that way too.
Yeah.
Where now it's on ESPN too, and you're just like, well, I'm gonna sit here and watch these guys. Like, it's super impressive, but I just want to watch right over and over again, and go watch Search for Animal Chin again or something.
And so if you're making a Tony Hawk skating game now, it's got to be that kind of skating, right? Because you're pulling the Tony Hawk name. I mean, he's the name.
Yeah, he does like a mini game like Blitz the League, where you're injecting your knees with serum so you can keep going on the vert pipe.
Right. Yeah. I think if you look at some of the screenshots that Game Informer posted with their story, like they're showing warehouses with rails and ramps and fun boxes and that sort of stuff. Like it seems kind of grounded in that stuff. I don't think it's going to be like massive vert ramps for huge whatever stuff. But who knows. How many different levels they'll have, or what their approach will be.
Yeah.
Like, you think about that game, like originally it was just 2-minute runs. And the levels were built for you to get to where you needed to get to within 2 minutes. And then by 4 they'd kind of gotten bigger and started blowing it out. So it's like, I hope they don't think like to make a classic Tony Hawk game they have to go back to that, because I think that the run timer is fine for like a classic mode, but I think that they were right to get away from it when they did, and embrace kind of larger levels and a bigger world, and add timers where you need to. Like, hey, you have 15 seconds to do this. Like, that's what they eventually kind of settled on for like the Thug games and stuff. And I think that worked pretty well.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll get more information over the coming year, and we'll hopefully this will be Robomoto's sort of breakthrough Tony Hawk game.
There's definitely talent at Robomoto. Like, I remember talking to them when HD was coming out, and there were people there who understood precisely what they were working on, but HD just didn't come together. So I hope they can put it together for this. Like, if they don't, then this has to be it for the franchise, right? Because this is kind of the make or break moment for it.
It's reboot number 4 or something at this stage.
So
cool. Time will tell. Jeff, thanks very much for coming on and talking to us about it. If you have any thoughts on the future of Tony Hawk or what your favorite game was, by all means, please leave it in the comments below. We're going to be back in a second. We're talking GTA mods with Mary and Rob. We're going to talk about Wolfenstein and an earnings call for EA that happened about 30 minutes ago. But first of all, we'll be back after this trailer for Jotun Alpha.
Ginnungagapi, leyndardómsfullu ríki tómleikans, liggur niflheimur, vægðarlaust land misturs og kulda. Í þessari frosnu auðn muni takast á við grimmilegar hvatningar. Uppgötva heillandi leyndardóma og sanna styrk minn og hreysti. Ég mun sigra kuldan. Ég mun vinna mér inn virðingu góðanna.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
The left handle.
Why is there a jib shot getting prepared? I don't even know what's happening. What's going on? There we go. Hey, what's going on?
It's going well.
Hey, what's up, jib shot? We're here, Mary Kish, Rob Hanlery, primo GTA 5 modification experts, all in your GTA garages, pulling, tweaking things. I said garages, that's right. Did that sound right? Garages?
No, I mean that's the right
garages?
pronunciation of that
Feel-
word.
it
I just
felt
don't
weird
understand.
coming out of my
I didn't.
mouth.
I didn't get that you were making like an auto body shop
modification.
parallel here.
They're like changing the screws.
Aftermarket GTA
Yeah.
5
See, he's into it.
enhancements.
You got this. Nice, I like it. You guys put up one of the funniest videos I've seen on GameSpot.com in a long time. GTA 5 mods. I'm gonna make this a weekly show. I guess we'll have to find out.
We'll see.
Soon
I
enough.
want to.
If they keep making fun mods, we might have to. You guys have dove in. My mouth is just made of melted butter today. You guys have
Yum.
dove deep into the world of GTA mods
Yeah.
for the past week or so. How is it? Does it work well? Is it fun? Are there good mods out there, like top level down? What do you think?
There's some good ones. Definitely does not work well. What you did not see in the video is that our computer crashed 4 times.
Oh, really?
It was
Only once you see a crash.
It was 3 hours of us playing around and restarting the computer, edited down to 15 minutes. So it is a long time to find the mods, to figure out if they work,
to get the cow into the strip club.
to get the cow into the strip
Old
club.
Bessie.
To get stage time,
But
and
it's
then you just
worth it.
fell right off.
Look how worth it that is. That's
So, yeah.
everything. It was so freaking fun. It is so awesome, and I love it, but it's problematic.
It needs work. I mean,
So
Yeah,
the mods took a while they crashed every once in a while. How long did it take to install them? What was that process?
Not a problem.
Not a problem at all. So yeah, there's this guy named Alexander Blade who made the native trainer, and that's kind of just the groundwork for all these other mods, which kind of just fall into the formula.
They like plug into that. or
Yeah,
something,
and
is it?
it's literally a drag and drop. So I don't. Yeah, as you know, like, which was funny enough is like the day that we were going to record. Rockstar put out a patch.
Yeah.
And basically banned that site or the native trainer.
Did it break it intentionally, or do you?
Yeah.
Yes, they
Oh,
did
yeah.
it on
Had to have.
purpose.
Okay.
And they also had a warning out saying that they were going to start banning people.
And
Like, they were
have
being
been.
serious about it. And when we started the game, it was busted. So it was a quick fix, though. Rob found a patch, put that in, and Lord.
yeah, I mean,
and it fixed it.
Jesus.
Yep, that looks fixed.
Yeah.
Definitely
That's a part
fixed.
of the beauty of these mods. The mods aren't. Oh my god.
I love how he gets.
It's funny. I mean,
I'm a
It's all
dog
good.
again.
they're funny, and where I will get into like interesting stuff is, the main dilemma is like they're banning people specifically online
Yeah,
for
so they're-
using mods, and that's fair. That's totally reasonable, right? Like you can't have people running around hacking the game. And
Yeah, it's
that's-
going to ruin other people's experience. They've obviously got
Sure.
microtransactions. You were saying earlier.
Yeah, like there's money involved.
Yeah.
Single player is a different thing. So like I was even just I'm making a video right now, right, using the director mode, where mods come into effect where it's like it's better in that in director mode, what I can do is I can be a dolphin. But what does it take to get to the dolphin? Well, I got to go find the peyote plant in the water and get it. So that's a step right
Yeah, it's
there.
going to take like an hour, or a long time.
Right, and so now here's this, there's the one that we use in our video, right? It's called Bodyguard Spawner, where I can spawn other people, other things, anything in the game. The director mode in GTA does not have that. It does not have a spawn, which basically creates your scene, because if you can imagine, like, I mean, how much of a video you can do with just you as a character, you know what I mean? You would like to have an interaction, you'd want to create some kind of scene, right?
Yeah.
So these mods are coming out, and they're allowing that, and that is something that like you can't just like deny, right? Like people are doing it.
Well, the director mode seems very much to be like you did something cool in the game. Here, you can now sort of make a 20-second clip of it and make it look like more than just gameplay.
Yeah.
Whereas these seem to be like, okay, here is the rest of the tools for the game.
Right.
Go and have fun.
Exactly. Like every animal. Like even, for instance, you gotta go to peyote plant to get the mound line. The mound line is only going to be one color. It's going to be however you unlocked it. So it's going to be brown. Here's on the mods. You can get every shade and every different type of
Look at all
mound
the different
line.
shades of
Like,
whales we
And if
found.
green mountain lions aren't reason enough to justify mods, I don't know what is.
Or you can just fire humpback whales out of your... I love how you're still spawning them as you're crashing. God mode, I'm assuming.
we did find out there is a limit to how many whales and.
Before it crashes your
Oh
system.
God, it was so many.
Many
there were some
whales.
shots I didn't get to throw in where we just kind of surveyed what we did.
Yeah.
And eventually it crashed, but it was, what, 5 dozen? I don't know.
There's
More than
just
that.
so much more potential for unlimited creativity. You can do anything you can think of, and you break the game in so many ways. You're not even supposed to be able to be in this hangar.
Yeah.
This is not a area you're supposed to be able to be in.
It's a plane you spawn, and
Yeah, and you guys went back to North Yankton as well at one stage in the video.
That's right. I mean, the ability to go to these places and have Reese's
legs.
monkeys that,
Rayman.
These things are so fast to be able to do. I mean, in the spectrum of it, sure, yeah, it took us 3 hours to get all this footage, But we did a lot in
Yeah.
3 hours that if you needed to go get that peyote or you needed to go to the particular areas, this would take forever. It's just like, lets you do everything as soon as you want it, you get it now.
And I think that's what's important is you guys have been talking about it from a director perspective, and because your goal in some ways is to make video, because that's your job. But from a player's perspective, just wanting to get in and mess around, it seems like it's really easy to try to make your own little weird Noah's Ark cargo plane.
Right.
Like you can just fire it up and start doing that stuff.
Right.
That was just an idea. Rob he was inspired to make Noah's plane, and
This is my favorite part of the whole video.
It took forever, but we did it.
This is just like such a great ending. It's like, throw everything.
There's cats.
So the trainers were like, this is almost like step one of every game when it comes out. Every mod is like, okay, you've got all the assets, make them spawn whenever you want.
Yes.
Have you guys seen, like, what's the next evolution of GTA 5 mods? What's coming out next?
So what's really funny is I was just on the subreddit for GTA mods, and someone 4 hours ago had already basically said, hey guys, since they're banning people online, and supposedly there are rumors of like, even if you're hooked up to the internet and you're only in single player, you can still get banned.
Oh, really? It's like how long is the ban?
It's like 15 days.
Crazy.
It's like a minimum. I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends. I'm sure on the case. But this guy had already made. Here's a. I don't know. I haven't even tried it out. But here's basically an interface where you can turn them off. Turn off the ones online. Do this like basically a launcher is what it is. And that's 4 hours ago, right? Like, and then I saw another video for, people are just making these insane mods already. Like a train, you can drive all the trains and stuff. Like
cool.
Flying cars.
Train simulator in GTA 5.
There's simple ones too.
I've already got Goat Simulator.
Oh god. There's ones that like we didn't put in the video because they weren't like incredibly amazing, but they were still awesome. Like being able to see your speed, being able to turn down all the windows, even the back windows, so that you could see better. It was really cool. And the little ones, I think, are what makes this place so special, because if you just want to be able to have Michael have a purse, there's a mod for that now.
The randomize clothes option was one of the
So
funniest things I've
good.
seen in that video.
So bizarre. Yeah, here's the gravity gun, right? This was Monday.
So good.
Have you seen this?
No,
Oh, you
this
haven't
is
seen
like-
this? It's pretty. It's
I
pretty
think
great.
that these mods are fantastic, and their like humorous potential and creative potential is undeniable. I just feel like there will never be a time when Rockstar is like, cool.
But this seems crazy
Go for
to me
it.
because like GTA 1 had a massive modding community. GTA 2 had a huge one. GTA 3 on PC was like insane. Like this is nothing new for the world of
think
Grand
it's
Theft
just-
yeah,
Auto.
but then
It's all
people
online.
poking around in there got. Then hot coffee happened. Like
Yes.
the amount of
Right.
things you guys are talking about, like wholesome animal fun and like silly purse carrying things. Like just think about the sheer breadth of things that are in GTA. Like what kind of weird,
Combinations,
terrible stuff
yeah.
could come out of this and then become the narrative of GTA 5.
Yeah, you're right.
And then you compare 4 to 5, where it's like 4 you had like an online part, which was popular, but now you have this GTA Online, which is just a perfect segue from single player to like online. I feel like just how they have set this up, it's just like I'm trying to say is like you don't want people to be easily going back and forth.
Right, yeah.
You don't want to torpedo your online
Yeah.
mode by allowing mods that could have any access to
maybe
that
they're
stuff.
just
So
being
that's
like-
yeah,
They're
another
already
huge
peeping
concern.
out too. You've already seen like
Yeah.
some weird stuff going in and online, which
Online.
you know somebody has tinkered because there's flying people all
Yeah.
of a sudden, and that's not supposed to happen. So I understand they can't condone it, but I mean,
Yeah, maybe being a bit more connected to it. One last thing, the big thing that always happens with GTA 1 and 2, with 3, and it didn't really happen with 4. Do you think GTA 5 modding will have whole new levels? Are there people working on, like, are you seeing it in the subreddit at all, where people are like working on making new cities?
There's still some ways to go. I would say what you can expect next are like kind of just like opening up locations that you have done in the game, right? Like maybe just right off the bat, you load up the game. The first level is when you're robbing the bank with, you know, in North Yankton. That's there, right? That's somewhere. Someone can open that up. And you got like all the heist missions, like the aircraft carrier is not around.
But it's in there
online,
somewhere.
it's
but
in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So those you'll see those first, right?
And even interiors. I mean, you talked about the interior of the cargo plane is not something
Exactly.
you're supposed to be able to
Yeah.
access. What about all these buildings that, like
Exactly.
all of a sudden you can go into the Cluck and Bell or whatever, I mean,
Oh man, I just want them to make San Andreas. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
what do
getting
you want
at.
an
Just somebody
entire
make San
other
Andreas.
world? You want your San Francisco in there?
Somebody somewhere is got to be doing it. Like, you'd hope so.
And we'll hear about it in 4 years.
Yeah. Well, this is maybe sooner because the amount of stuff that Mary and Rob have seen in only a week of this being up has already been fantastic. So that video is up on GameSpot.com. Is there going to be another? You working on something at the moment?
I'm working on a documentary on the mountain lion.
Okay. Do you want to leave it there?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, check that out on GameSpot.com real soon then.
And we are always checking. There is like a website where you can see the latest mods that are out. And we basically check it every once in a while. And when there's something we just know is going to be good, we'll probably just make another one. And
you could do another video right
now.
Yeah.
It's just about like picking
Let's do it.
worthwhile ones. Let's do it.
Get up. Get off the couch.
All right. You guys do that. We'll be back in a second. Andy Bauman and Chris Waters have been playing Wolfenstein, The Old Blood, at various speeds because of the speed restrictions on Xbox Live against Steam. Actually, we might talk a little bit about that as well in a second. Stick around, I'll be back. There's a new trailer, though, for Mortal Kombat X. Jason Voorhees is in the video game as long as you can pony up the cash.
Go for it.
Don't get any blood on me.
This is a waste of my time.
Wolfenstein: The New Order, actually probably the best game in the Wolfenstein series, you might say. That was a bit of a shock last year.
Let's
You
not
want
go
to
crazy.
Andy Bauman right off the bat. You want to disagree?
What's your counterpoint?
I love all the Wolfensteins equally.
Nope,
That's
Sophie's
a bad
choice.
decision. No, that's not
I
good.
even love the 2009 one. Is that?
Return to Castle Wolfenstein?
No, it's
No.
just called Wolfenstein.
It's called
Wolfenstein. Oh,
And
Wolfenstein?
there's
No.
weird Nazi magic.
That was a crock.
Oh man, that
we'll
one
have
had
that.
some good sniper rifle action in that one. I don't know.
That's about it.
Way to find the positive, Andy.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Well, in any case, we can all agree that
New
the
Order is awesome.
was a really good game.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was so good.
So good.
Very surprising. Very emotional.
Right? Like, okay, can we talk about the ending really quick?
No.
Okay.
Mostly because I haven't completed it yet.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
literally
man.
finishing it at the moment on Xbox
I
One.
don't know how they like, skirted
Characters.
that line between absurd but actually like making me feel something
Yeah.
real. And it's so brilliantly done that I was like laughing, but like, oh man,
It's the
this
dumbest
is a heartfelt
thing.
ending, but
Like-
like absurd as all hell.
Like
It's so
BJ
good.
Blazkowicz, like one of the most one-dimensional characters in the history of video games.
Yep.
Literally a face at the bottom of his and then and then he's just a like Nazi hunting crazy person.
Yep.
Even in the New Order, but he's also like an incredibly brilliant sympathetic
Yeah,
character.
but like all the people who talked to him were like, "You're crazy, dude." And he's like, "Just gonna kill the Nazis." But yeah, so great character. We're all like really excited to hear the announcement of standalone DLC coming out. The Old Blood is out today. There's like, is there another one, or is this just a two-part
It's a
one?
pack, yeah.
So this one contains two
Like
sort
mini
of
episodes.
stories within it. And so the first one is go back to Castle Wolfenstein, try to steal some docks.
Where it all began.
Yeah, but this is in 1946, so it's like before the alternate like it's just the beginning of the alternate history
Okay.
that defines the New Order, because that takes place in the 60s, right?
Yes.
After the Nazis won. So this one, it's like 1946, yeah, war should have been over by now, but it's not, and the Nazis are really winning,
Right.
kind of, is what this guy's
And
telling
you
me.
guys have played, Andy, you've been playing on PC, Chris, you've been playing on Xbox One.
Yes.
Andy, first of all, what are your first impressions of The Old Blood?
All right, so it starts out pretty slow
Yeah.
because you're in a car, and then it goes to a part where you're in a prison, and it's very linear, and they're like have these little stealth battles with these super soldiers that are attached by tethers to like power stations, as if it was like a trolley car or something in a streetcar that was like attached to the power grid
Really?
or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so they can only
These
like
dudes
go
are-
back and forth. and then you wait for them to like go thing. You like power down, and then it's like, but then you only have like a certain amount of time to go like disconnect them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's like that's to me that's not what this game is good at.
Yeah, it's the stealth stuff was always part of it, but
But this isn't even like
almost to
this is
offset
like
the.
forced stealth. I don't know. This isn't even like optional stealth. You know?
Okay.
But then you get past that, and it's kind of like mood building and stuff. But then it just drops you into an arena, classic Wolfenstein
Double
style.
guns.
And double guns. Kill the commander if you don't want to set off the alarm. But like, of course, you do want to set up the alarm because that's when the game gets fun.
Yeah.
And all the mobility stuff is there, and it's brilliant.
It's good fun.
And I mean, why wouldn't you want to play? If you didn't play the first one, this is only $20.
Yeah.
And it's standalone. So if you want to get a taste of what this game's all about, highly recommend just jumping in here, getting through that first part, and then like using all your leans, your slides, your power slides, your guns, your dual guns. Like it's just there's so many options. The shooting is so good. Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, once you get past that stealth stuff, well, there's like they give you a little taste before you get to the stealth stuff. But I'm still in the stealth stuff. The Xbox One download took significantly longer than the Steam
You had it
download.
in like we got really fast, super fast
we
internet here.
Yeah.
So there's no backlog on our end, but Steam had it in like 5
as fast
minutes.
as you can get it.
Yeah.
It took me like 2 hours to get
Just
that
2
thing,
hours,
at
so
least.
yeah.
But yeah, so like this is where things start to get shooty in this brief sequence. The shooting mechanics in this game and the movement stuff just like really combines to make it so fun, and that's Andy's enthusiasm that you guys are feeling. I like it because as a standalone sort of DLC thing, it's a prequel, so it's not. There's not going to be spoilers or anything. There's not going to be knowledge that you're assumed to have known. But at the same time, you are seeing like the super soldiers you see tethered up. Like you fight those dudes free roaming like in the New Order.
Yes.
But you see that this is like the prototype.
progression.
Yeah.
that's
Before they
cool.
invented the batteries.
And like
Yeah.
the robo dog that you see is more dog than robot
Right.
in this one, but then in the New Order, it's just like real gnarly robot mostly.
Also,
and the Nazis blow up real good.
it's just
Yeah.
important.
Double
Yes,
barrel.
The
You know.
heads explode pretty well. And like, the one thing about this game though is the guns don't have a really meaty sound. They don't have a
Really?
pop. They're just like,
Yeah.
which is weird because everything else is so like spot on.
You feel like maybe it's your headphones or something? I don't know. I feel like I remember.
That could be, maybe there's like
I
a setting
remember the
that's
New
like
Order kind of having
5-1.
that
Punchy sound.
bass kick.
My last question about this for
I have
people
really good
who
headphones though.
Oh.
for people who haven't played the New Order, and you're suggesting people can go in and jump in on this
Oh, yeah,
one.
for sure.
Chris, do you think that this does a good job of like explaining the mechanics to people at the start, or do you kind of have to go in with that knowledge?
No, there's no. In this case, knowing that you can slide and your slide has momentum, and like they
show
tell
you
you,
that.
do they tell you that?
Yeah, because you stick a pipe under the door, and it's like, okay, to get under there, you have to run back.
Oh, I mean,
slide,
they don't show that to you in the first hour of the
and
game.
then
Oh, really?
Like
grab
that's a
it.
while in. But then again, that's
before
that's
you get to
really
the
when
arena.
the combat arenas start blossoming and opening up. They give you the guns pretty quickly, and they let you do wield real quickly. But I guess the whole stealth block at the beginning doesn't feel that strong to me. But in terms of, I would just say read the tutorials. Like tutorial message pops up. They do a good job of like. They have a couple different ways of doing it. One's just like, there's a tutorial message, and another's like, here's an image of the thing that you're doing. This is how you do it, and it goes away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a slick interface, but just pay attention to that stuff if you haven't played it before, and you should be getting up to speed. And don't start on Uber difficulty if
Right.
you're not
Yeah.
really sure. Like start a little lower, and then if it's feeling easy, kick it up.
I mean, it's a first-person shooter, so it's like people will instantly be familiar. But the only things that I think that it has that people may be starved of, I wish every shooter had these, but lean mechanics, like you can even like lean up, lean down, lean back.
Yeah,
like, so
that
that's
multi-directional
pretty cool.
lean is cool.
It has kind of like an auto lean when you aim down sights and you're in cover. It kind of like does it, so it's forgiving like Far Cry style. It has the sliding, which is just I love the sliding. I don't know, and then the level design actually is pretty key because there's things you can like knock down and then like go up, like get elevation that you might not notice if you're not paying attention. There's like vents you can climb in to kind of like go around and flank. So there's like the levels all kind of function this way. Even in the battle arenas, there's plenty of stuff to like hide, reload. Maybe you notice something. Oh, I can jump up there, go
Like
up there,
flank somebody
flank, and like try again. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really well designed. Like
Cool.
they know how to make a fun game.
Excellent, and hopefully they know how to make a good Fallout, because I saw Nuka-Cola
Well-
is already in this game.
This is Machine Games.
Oh yeah, good point.
From
This is the
Sweden.
Sweden, the
Yeah.
Swedish.
There
yeah.
was also a Skyrim helmet sitting on one of the
really?
desks right early on. So
all one universe.
they love their
Bethesda.
nods.
The Bethesda universe.
Bethesda Twitch work.
Bethesda verse.
Yeah, there you go. It's like Red Faction and Saints Row. It's all just one big universe. Andy and Chris, thank you very much for coming on and talking about
I'm gonna go
Wolfie
play more.
Times. You gonna play some more?
Yeah, I want
Cool.
to shoot some Nazis.
Actually, little sidebar. First of all, I want to talk to you guys about the download speed thing, just a little bit.
Sure.
Because you downloaded on PC, like you
Sure
said,
did.
Wolfenstein: The New Order. You downloaded in say 5 minutes.
36 gigs, right? 34
36
It
gigs?
was 37 on Xbone.
So obviously on the
300
our pipe here is super fast, so we get it as quickly as they can give it. Steam is always super fast. That's like a given.
Yeah.
When it comes to the consoles, I always find PlayStation 4 is about twice as fast as Xbox Live at this stage.
Xbox, yeah, I mean, their whole status bar thing is like, I don't know, it doesn't give you a good idea of how long it's going to take. It goes irregularly and it feels like it's going slow. I do think that my connection, as a caveat, is going through a router of some kind and not just right into the rail that we have. But yeah, I would say, in terms of getting to frequently download stuff on PC versus PS4 versus Xbox One, kind of goes in that order in terms of speed. And why?
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
mean-
annoying. I always wondered if it was the Xbox Live Gold versus like having a PlayStation Plus subscription.
Pay the gold, get
But I got both of them.
download.
Yeah, I don't know. But with the PlayStation stuff, I always feel like whenever I buy a game on PSN, there's a chance I can play it that night. Whereas I'm almost like resigned to the fact that if I buy a game, or if I get a game on disc and I put it in and it's got 20 gigs of uploads, I'm like, oh well, I guess that's tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then Xbox does that like ready to start thing,
but it doesn't do
Oh
it.
yeah, but it's never ready.
which is like, oh sweet, Battlefield's ready to start, and you boot it up, and it's like, cool, you play the first level of the single player,
How do you feel about tutorials? We got your back.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
Still working on it.
Do you think is that a problem for you guys? Like, it's getting a little bit irritating for me that like my PS4 is starting to fill up. That's starting to irritate me a little bit. And then like being forced, even getting retail copies of games, and then being forced to wait another 3 hours to actually play them. Like, is that a big selling point for you or problem?
I'm just so used to Steam though, right? Because like, even at home, I have a pretty fast internet pipe, and so I can just pull games down off Steam. Kind of, if there's a big one, I might have to wait like an hour.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. But if I buy a game on Xbox One, I know that I'm like, well, I better set this to download, go to work. Hopefully it's done by the time I get back. It probably won't be because it like failed or something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just super unreliable, and I'm all for getting everything
Digitally. Yeah.
because that's just how it's been on PC for so long. I love it. But it's not there yet on Xbox, so it's like I almost rather have the disc if I want to play. If like I'm gonna go swing by a store and buy the disc so I can play it when I get home, I still do that if I really think I'm gonna do that.
Honestly, at this point, the install time stuff, I've sort of adjusted my expectations. So this morning I was impatient, but I was under no delusions that a 36 gig download on an Xbox One was going to go in 45 minutes. Yeah. I get home, I will like set up whatever game I want to download and play, and then get home around 7. By about 10, when my wife goes to bed and I have like time to play, it's about ready. The thing that gets me is the system updates that are substantial and take downloading, because I don't leave my systems on all day in like draining ghost power mode. I don't know. It's like it's negligible, I know, but it's just a thing. I don't do it. So. Like getting jabbed with one of those updates derails my schedule, and that's even when I'm like sitting down to like watch something on Netflix. It's like, you need an update if you want to connect to the internet. I'm like, oh, and I just switch back to the other system that doesn't need an update at the time.
It's the horrible part of the all digital future that
Oh,
nobody told us
trials and
about.
tribulations.
Dude,
I will say this about Steam's like unlimited bandwidth. Theoretically, I pulled down 56 gigs of GTA 5 when it was coming out at like 50 megabytes a second.
Really?
On this connection.
Yeah.
But then I like downloaded it on a different computer, the one with like TriSLI.
Yeah.
And it was capped out at like 18 megabytes, and then I couldn't get it to go back up.
Oh, really?
So I think Steam does
They throttle it somehow.
They might throttle it because that was a very high demand game at a very like release day.
Yeah.
So they may throttle it, but that's still pretty good, 18 megabytes seconds.
Yeah, I'm not going to stick my nose up at 18 megasecond. Thanks very much, guys, for talking about that. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
we'll be back in just a second. We're going to talk about the EA earnings call. Justin Haywell's in the wings to tell us about Mirror's Edge 2 and some sort of Plants vs. Zombies video game. We'll be back. Stick around, but for the meantime, here's a trailer for Dragon Age Dragon Slayer.
To all Inquisition field agents. Multiple reports warn of high dragons moving into island ruins on the Ferelden coast. You know the damage that just one of these creatures can do. We must strike before their rampage destroys most of the south. I have authorized 3 new agents to join in this fight. The Skywatcher brings to bear the Avar's strange mix of elemental magic and melee. Zither calls himself a virtuoso, and may actually deserve the title. The man controls a broad range of magic through his lute, which can alter the flow of battle for all involved. And Isabella, so-called Admiral and Queen of the Eastern Seas, is an unmatched duelist. She strikes from anywhere and is nearly untouchable. Prepare carefully for what you will face.
Look at me, still sexy. Well, dead sexy, I guess.
Electronic Arts had an earnings call earlier today. We know how much you kids love them numbers. So we got Justin Haywald, GameSpot News Chief Czar Editor Gentleman.
My title is just Gentleman.
A gentleman? Gentleman Justin Haywald here.
Master Haywald.
Master, can you tell us all about the earnings call? So what goodies have they thrown out for us?
Earnings calls are really boring, but this is that earnings period because it's the end of the fiscal year, which is always a little bit confusing, but you know, the numbers period for tax purposes, that ends now. So all of the
yes!
Sure. Business!
Bam!
And then business guys get together and they do a lot of buzzwords.
Cocaine.
Lots of cocaine.
Yeah.
And they're really boring. But
so we spend it somewhere. Sorry.
So that you don't have to listen to it, so that I don't have to sit through a really boring call. We have our guys who are listening in on this, and they will sometimes give us a presentation beforehand, a PDF, or what they're going to be talking about. In this case, the presentation is going on right now. We're still listening, so there could be some cool news that leaks out. Like the highlight is always if they say something they're not supposed to. Like if they're like, oh, and yeah, also Mirror's Edge 3 is going to be something really big.
Whoa. But Mirror's Edge 2 hasn't even come out yet.
Exactly, because what we did see today is we got kind of a date for the next Mirror's Edge and for a new Plants vs. Zombies game.
Okay.
Which, I mean, we knew these, well, we knew Mirror's Edge is coming.
Look right there. Well, we also got confirmation of FIFA 15 or 16, Madden 16, NHL 16, and of course, Roy McIlroy PGA Tour, Bye-Bye Tiger, coming Q2. NBA Live 16, Need for Speed.
More Need for Speed.
Need for Speed TBA.
Yeah.
Which we're all looking forward to. Star Wars Battlefront, of course. But yeah, Q4 looking really interesting there. New Mirror's Edge.
TBA, of course, stands for the Battle Arena.
Yeah, it's a MOBA.
So
Need for Speed MOBA.
Even though that says Q4.
What? As far as Need for Speed announcements goes, a Need for Speed MOBA would be pretty interesting to see. Yeah? That can work. Yeah.
So even though that says Q4, that's not coming at the end of this year.
Yes.
That's going to be this period. So that's from January till the end of March 2016. So next year.
Fiscal Q4.
Year. So by the end of this fiscal year, which is by the beginning of 2016, we should get the new Mirror's Edge and a new Plants vs. Zombies. And this one's listed for console and PC, so it seems like we can make a guess about what that would be.
So probably a Garden Warfare 2, as opposed to a desktop, you know.
I mean, it could be. It could be maybe Plants vs. Zombies 2 coming to console and PC. Because did it ever come to PC? It was always a mobile game,
I don't think it ever did.
So it could be that.
Yeah.
Or it could
but
be
it's
Garden
probably
Warfare 2.
Yeah, it's probably Garden Warfare 2.
It's probably a dance game.
Garden Warfare 2 or Garden Warfare 1 was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
All things considered.
I liked that game a bunch. It was fun.
It was.
And it's taken a long time for us to get Mirror's Edge. I can't believe, like, that was announced a while ago now.
Yeah, that logo was just the Mirror's Edge logo. Is there any chance this is just like,
HD
we decided to HD re-release this up? I mean, do we have more concrete information on, no, this is a different game?
God, you'd hope so. Like, especially when you think about the Gears of War information that came out last week about more HD re-releases coming from, as a Black Tusk. Like, Mirror's Edge 2 is like the worst kept secret in games development history. Is it out of Stockholm? It's where ex-DICE guys, a lot of them, or those guys involved there. I remember there was an interview a couple of years ago about them having it in development. There was no confirmation. Then eventually they confirmed it. Then eventually they put this trailer out. But we've seen nothing since. So presumably they've been making it for a long time, just on the side or something?
It's a game that's easy to be scared about because I know it was critically well received and it was a lot of fun, but it didn't feel like a game that ever sell.
No.
Yeah, it didn't sell well. So it was a big surprise when you're like, oh, you're making a new Mirror's Edge, and like, this is awesome. Hopefully they're still going to make it, and it's not going to be, Mirror's Edge 1, we already have that built. Might as well just, they're in HD.
What changes do you think they're going to make to try to goose the sales on this one? Or are they just going to rely on like that cult status, then catapulting them to the next level?
Yeah, like hopefully it's had enough of a gestation period of like 3 years or whatever, or longer, 5 years of people talking about it. Because the problem was, like, I often felt like they put the shooting part, which was the worst part of that game, in just to have it in for trailers or something, just to show that there was like, something else that happens in this. The problem I have is that when Mirror's Edge came out, that was very much the time when Portal came out and it was like, oh, you can make first-person games that aren't about shooting. And like, we're past that. We're in like a post Gone Home world, a post Dear Esther world, where like first-person games that aren't shooters are actually kind of par for the course by now. It's like, what would you want in a new Mirror's Edge?
Seeing that world in HD would still be a lot of fun. Like hasn't been another parkour, like a game that's just purely I'm running and jumping up buildings and along walls that feels that free. Like we've had a parkour elements in a lot of games since then. But
Brink.
Titanfall.
Yeah. And the zombie game recently, the shooting.
Dying Light.
Dying Light.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like the closest we've come to like this kind of movement fun. I mean, yes, like I love Titanfall and the wall running there, but Dishonored with the blink ability, like that created, like that basically made it a first-person platformer in a way that like not very many other games have done as well because of that teleportability and the cues it gave you. So. And like that just made moving through those levels a much more fascinating puzzle. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for from Mirror's Edge. But then again, this fluidity that they're sort of demonstrating, that's always been their thing. So that kind of measured, like, I'm going to teleport here and then zip over here, is a little slower paced than Mirror's Edge aims to be.
Yeah, fingers crossed they can do sort of what Portal 2 did off Portal 1. It was a sequel that people were thinking, like, what can they possibly do to mix up this new formula? And they ended up doing a pretty good job.
And having a cool dystopian world. Like, there's a lot of interesting story stuff left to explore in that.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess we'll have to see hopefully we'll see some of the E3 perhaps, especially if they're looking to plan to release it Q1 of next year. Justin Haywell, thank you very much for coming in. Let us know if anything else is happening on the earnings call right now.
I'm going to go check right now.
All right, sounds good. We're almost done with the show, but first of all, we got a giveaway.
A giveaway?
Whoop!
Maggie?
Whoop. I didn't throw it at you.
Oh.
Yo, did you hear about that hot video game, Evolve?
Yeah, that was a hot video game.
Well, the good folks at Pop Games. You ever see? I always see these things all the time.
I see them all the time. They are super popular. They've touched like every franchise ever. So of course, Evolve's got to get their hands on them. And these are actually the first ones that I've been kind of tempted by because I really like Evolve, and I think
this is the best one. Can we get a close up on Jay Hay here? Goliath. So they've done the monsters as well.
His giant eyeballs is so cute.
We're giving away a bunch of these. All you have to do is go to GameSpot.com/win/Funko Evolve for your chance to win one of these bad boys. We keep putting them up there. We can do it.
Yeah, you can get them all.
You also get what you're going to win. We've got 3 of these packs to give away. It's all you see here plus either PC version. Jay Hay's camera. There you go. Or PS4 or Xbox One. All you have to do is go to the link on screen now, GameSpot.com/win/Funko Evolve, and then put your email, username, and of course your system of choice, PS4, Xbox One, or PC, for your chance to win. So thanks to our good friends at Funko Pop and the fine men and women who created the Evolve franchise. Look at these.
He's got his red eyeball.
Yeah.
He's got his beard, his cigar.
It's pretty good.
These
You
are
reckon
good.
everyone at Turtle Rock got one of these?
Get a full set.
Yeah, probably get your pick.
It's the least they deserve.
I like the big one, 6 inches.
Yeah, the Goliath's pretty great. You like it 6 inches? Yeah. The Goliath's tongue sticking out is pretty good. I like that one.
That tongue freaks me out.
A bit of definition on the tongue there.
That is a freaky tongue that does not exist in nature. Oh God, Danny's doing a tongue thing. There we go. Yeah, you have to make it as cylindrical as possible, Danny. Bring in the sides a little bit. Get it more tube-like. No.
That's the lobby for this week. GameSpot.com/win/Bunko Evolve. This doesn't make any sense. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Adios.
Woohoo!